Noche le presento una entrevista que realicé a Jimmy Wales, fundador y promotor de Wikipedia. Hablamos, entre otras cosas, de la era de las fake news, de las noticias falsas. Wales consideró que los estudiantes deben estar mejor informados porque si no es así, pues es como son proclives a ser manipulados, a creer cosas odiosas para no ser productivos para su nación o el mundo. Jimmy Wales, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
You launched Wikitribune as a pilot last year, seeking to generate global and local news based on facts which have been previously verified. What has the experience been so far?
It's been really great. We've got about 13 journalists working for us, which is a small team, obviously. We've got community members who are writing, editing, fact-checking, et cetera, and we're continuing to improve the software to make it easier for people to participate.
Why the idea to launch this in Spanish?
Well, there's a few reasons. One, we have a really great partner in Mexico, Empower Media, who are helping us with the launch. Jorge, who runs that, is massively passionate about the issue of quality in journalism and news. Spanish is a global language, which makes it ideal for the kind of global collaboration that I'm always interested in. And the timing was right. I'm doing this tour across South America and Mexico, meeting lots of people, and it was a good time to launch.
Do you think we're doomed to be influenced by fake news in some degree, at least? Is containing this all we can do?
Well, I mean, I think, obviously, throughout all of the history of news as a medium, there have always been problems with low-quality media and so forth. The phenomenon of fake news, real fake news, not what Donald Trump calls fake news, which is anything he doesn't like, is fairly new. And I think there will always be some element of it, but I think we'll get it under control.
Something that has become part of the domain of fake news is the word or the concept of fake news. You just said, for some people, fake news is what you don't like to hear or read. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate. I mean, I think we should distinguish in a thoughtful way between different kinds of problems. I mean, one problem that we have is the problem of true fake news, so people who have absolutely no regard for the truth, just looking for a juicy headline to get some quick ad revenue. On the other end of the scale, we have problems of clickbait headlines and low-quality media competing head-to-head with quality journalism. That's another issue. Issues around the financial pressures on journalism from the changes in the marketplace. There's a lot of different kinds of problems, and we shouldn't lump them all together.
In your experience in Wikipedia, is there such thing as conventional wisdom in a world where people's points of view are growingly segmented?
I think so, and Wikipedia remains incredibly popular. People do seem to have a passion to say, well, I know that there is a controversy here, and rather than just jump on one side and only listen to that side, I want to get a well-rounded view of what the controversy is about. I think most people are like that. In many cases, the economics of news have driven us away from that. Not in all cases. There's still a lot of quality outlets out there. But, I think people do yearn for some understanding. I mean, I would rather, maybe you and I might disagree about some political issue, but hopefully we both agree that our disagreement will be more productive if we actually have a base of facts about which we're disagreeing.
What is your take on privacy in the age of internet, digital surveillance, and social media?
Well, I mean, privacy is an incredibly important value. I mean, it's a bedrock of civilization, really. It's getting challenging, but there's so much data about us, data that we voluntarily share. We both want to share it and keep it private, so we've got a little bit of a confusion there. And I think companies have a lot of work to do to make sure that they are really meeting the needs of the consumers who are using the products.
Do you think the business model of social media will have to change at some point, given the concerns about privacy?
I don't know. It's a very good question. If I knew, I would know which stocks to buy or sell in the social media companies. But I'm like anybody else. I watch it with great interest. There are changes to business models, though, that are happening. I mean, Wikipedia survives and does quite well as a charity with no advertising, just people giving donations. We see the New York Times has had a huge upswing in their number of digital subscriptions. That's really important. So the advertising-only business model, which has been pretty destructive for news and journalism, seems to be falling down a little bit, and that other things are beginning to emerge.
By the way, how are the donations going?
Good. Yeah, Wikipedia is doing well. Wikitribune, of course, is a completely separate entity, and we're doing this crowdfunding campaign across the Spanish-speaking countries to see if people want to support quality journalism in that language. So we'll see. Hopefully people will find this interesting to take part in.
Wiki means fast. What do you think about the slow down movement?
I'm a big fan of slowing down. One of the things I've been talking about and it is a funny paradox. Actually, no one's ever said that to me before. It's really kind of cool. Like, although Wikipedia is fast in some ways, it's also slow. It's where you go sort of a month later to learn the full story that's come out so far. I think with journalism, I think a lot of what we need to do is really slow down and focus on the stories that really matter. Myself, I've decided I've taken a holiday for a month. I'm not going to read any stories about what Donald Trump tweeted this morning, because you can drive yourself crazy with that. Instead, I say, look, I'm not going to read that. I'm going to focus more. What are the real policies? What are the real changes that he's bringing about? What's good about those, bad about those? Because you can really drive yourself crazy with too much trivial day-to-day news.
Jimmy, all of this started out of love of knowledge. But isn't it a little counterproductive? Doesn't the average high school student limit his love of knowledge by just clicking into Wikipedia and finding out the basic facts of stuff?
Well, I mean, it's better than what I did when I was a teenager, which was just wonder and never went any deeper than wondering. I mean, what we see is that students today really love Wikipedia. They love digging deep on topics that they're passionate about. Wikipedia can go very, very deep. Of course, some people use it just to find the basic answer that they're looking for. That's okay, too. But certainly, I think you're better off digging deeper. Follow the sources at Wikipedia. Go get a book based on what you learned in Wikipedia, all that sort of thing. I think it's one tool in the whole learning process.
In the age of databases, is it still true that knowledge is power?
Good question. I think it is. And in fact, one of the reasons I'm so passionate about quality journalism is that I think citizens who are not informed are easily manipulated into believing hateful things that are not productive for their nation or for the world. Whereas if people really slow down and learn the facts, they say, oh, okay, well, actually, we can make better decisions here.
Jimmy Wales, it's been a privilege talking to you.
Thank you. It's very kind of you.
Jimmy Wales, fundador de Wikipedia.